Antonio Riverwalk. My name is Jerry. I'll be your captain today. Safety rules on our boats here are all pretty simple, though. No standing, no smoking on the boat at any time, please. And up in the very front, we do have 2 compartments where we have our life jackets there. 40 life jackets up there for you guys at all times, just so you know. I will say most of the Riverwalk is about 3.5 to 4 feet deep, so typically life jackets are dispensed. We usually just offer a round of applause first and tell somebody to stand up, and somebody will go ahead and help them out of the river. That's usually what happens about 11 o'clock at night to about 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday nights and Saturday nights. Some folks go a little, overboard with that happy hour visit, so you might find 1 or 2 later on tonight making their way on into the river. Definitely does happen. My Riverwalk, ladies and gentlemen, has been out here since 1941. We did build this thing originally as a park-like environment to cover up a bunch of damage left behind from a flood that we had in 1921. We never thought it would become the Riverwalk that it is today. However, we are definitely blessed to have this beautiful Riverwalk that we have here today. As a venue, it is the 2nd most visited attraction in the state of Texas behind the Alamo. We see about 20 million visitors a year here at river level, so thank you guys for being a part of that. Out here, you will find different things going on all throughout the year for sure. A little 4th of July celebration kicking off here in the River Center Mall Lagoon a little bit later on this evening here. I know for a fact we look for any and every excuse to put on some type of festival. If we can, throw a little 3-boat parade for the guys that fall in the river, we probably would. It's one of those things where we're always looking for a reason to kick things off in a very fun and festive way. But this lagoon here is going to see some serious action next March, 2018. Is the return of March Madness in San Antonio. We got the NCAA Men's Final Four coming back out here. We've done both men's and women's in the past. And what we usually do for that event is we'll dock a boat on each side of the lagoon. And each school gets about a 2-hour pep rally here in the mall. All their fan base will come on out, and we split the band in half. That's what fills up the 2 boats that are docked. And then we shuttle in the players. They get up in the center stage area and just kick off all the chants and fight songs they normally would have at their home arena. So that's a real nice treat for local kids. We get to just see those programs on TV all the time. Be able to see them up close like that. Real nice treat. And then, of course, up in the area where Chili's, Hooters, Margaritaville is, we'll feature local musicians in the evenings right there to perform. So a nice little platform for them to showcase their talents. This whole section that we're in right here, guys, came out to us in 1988. So well after the main parts of the Riverwalk were already established. It gave San Antonio a true retail space for the first time in the downtown area. 3 floors of shopping and over 1 million square feet in stores there. Basically every husband's worst nightmare come true. I will say that, fellas. I apologize, man. It's not something I try to drag you into on purpose. Just happens to be a part of the tour right here. Over the years we've definitely modified things a little bit, made it a little more of a well-rounded venue. When they added Yard House, Margaritaville, and Hooters, that became like the husband daycare center for women to drop off and pick them up later after all the shopping. It worked out perfect.
Pretty good.
One of the things that a lot of our families are looking forward to, the addition of Legoland and Sea Life Aquarium. Both of those are going to be in the mall starting next spring. So 2018, for those of you that do not know, it's our tricentennial year, our 300th birthday here in San Antonio. So from about March on, we're going to definitely have a lot going on here in the downtown area, especially at river level, as we will be debuting our new fleet of boats. We have 43 all-electric boats that are being constructed up in Wisconsin, and that should be hitting our Riverwalk next spring. Different experience altogether for you guys in terms of space. Obviously right now, for those of you that are rubbing knees with somebody you don't know, feel free to introduce yourself. It's always a little more comfortable to know who you're getting all sweaty and sticky with for the next 30 minutes, right? Yeah, it's a little rough come summertime out here, but hopefully the breeze that's coming through today is making it a little more bearable. Just be glad you didn't visit us in late August when that humidity really sets in. Man. That's definitely rough out here. Any of you guys from areas where you actually get 4 seasons worth of winter?
Oh yeah.
Where it gets that cold, where it's like just cold all the way around? I'm talking like the exact opposite of us.
No, like
all year? All year. Okay, so no polar opposites from us, but you at least get different seasons.
Oh yeah.
All 4 of them. Okay, we're right on.
I'm thinking Brendan.
I'll deal with the happy middle. We don't get a whole lot of you guys out here in this time of the year because it's not definitely a tough period to get through. For those that come on out from, like, say, Alaska, we get visitors every now and then from areas where it's cold most of the year. This is brutal for them for sure. But yeah, we have the opposite end. We wouldn't know how to act in wintertime up there either. The closest we've gotten to snow is in the form of a cone. So it's definitely an experience that we would like to partake in. 4th of July weekend, guys, brings out the Arts and Crafts Expos out here to our Riverwalk. So if y'all have not come on through the man-made channel here, we do have these guys that are going to be out all weekend, usually sticking around until about 8:30 or so. Some of them might be closing up shop a little bit earlier, but definitely gives you an opportunity to take home some really neat souvenirs. They come on out to us once, about every other month for the most part, but you can always guarantee a visit from you guys during this particular weekend here. Y'all are definitely beating the rush. I would say in about 2 to 3 boat rides from now. The lines at every one of our 4 locations will be pretty long. The average wait this evening going through the weekend is going to be close to an hour, and that's with 10 to 12 boats at each one of our locations. So kudos to y'all for picking the good part of the day to come on out and see us. San Antonio Riverwalk has distinct areas. We're going to be leaving a man-made section here going out to the natural source of the San Antonio River. As we do that, I'm bringing alongside a hotel that made its way into the Guinness Book of World Records back in 1968. If you don't mind, I have a couple stories out here in which I do some serious bragging. But there were record-setting moments, man. It's kind of hard to not brag about them. This one involves a Texas A&M University graduate, H.B. Zachary. And he was the owner, still is the name that you will see on Zachary Construction, global name out there for sure these days, but they really earned their stripes on this particular hotel. The Hilton had come in contact with us here about 2.5 years before the World's Fair was coming to town, letting us know that they planned on being out here, and they picked an ideal spot. On the opposite side of the hotel is the Hemisphere Park area, so they knew exactly where they wanted to be. However, they didn't get started with construction until less than a year until the World's Fair is coming to town. And that didn't leave a lot of time for Zachary Construction to get this job done. So there were a lot of folks, uneasy about whether or not they were going to open up their doors in time for the fair. But HB himself went on record as saying that he would front all the funds necessary to build this project for at the Hilton. And he almost threw out there a true guarantee, you might as well call it a guarantee, in saying that if he didn't get these doors opened up in time, that he would accept a $1 reimbursement from the Hilton as an apology for not getting those doors open. And you throw something out there like that, chances are you know something we don't. He definitely staffed up for it, brought on over 200 guys for this project. About a third of them stayed here on site building the first 4 floors, while the rest of the crew was at headquarters about 8 miles south of the downtown area, and they were given one big task: take concrete boxes the size of rooms and turn them into the rooms you see today. That's essentially what you have from the 5th floor on up right there. And that's exactly what they did, man. They installed all of the electrical wiring and the plumbing. They had all of the permanent cabinetry installed, had the big pieces of furniture, the wall decor, the mirrors, sconces, went as far as to include the linens and the TVs just so they could be shoved in their spots once they were mounted. A very unique crane was involved here, one that was designed just for this project, had a little propeller on the back side of it. And the crane operator took a while to get used to it, but towards the end of construction was averaging about 35 rooms being put in place per day for a 500-unit hotel. He opens these doors in less than 10 months, gets it done with weeks to spare. So he avoided that $1 reimbursement, and that's where he took off as a global name in construction right here. 1968, the Hilton, fastest hotel built for its size in modular fashion, is their entry into the Guinness Book of World Records. They knew they wanted to build right there, guys, because of this venue. You have this open air theater that we're coming into. You got about 800 seats available on those little grassy steps. And usually you can be able to come on out and see all types of shows. However, during the summertime, every weekend through mid-August, you will be seeing the Fiesta Noche del Rio. It's the night party of the river, longest running show we have here in the Arneson River Theater. Over 60 years of performances, generations of family members going through the Fiesta Noche. And it's a very interactive show, so if you want to learn how to do some flamenco dancing or even a Cotton Eye Joe, man, this is where you want to be later on tonight. The prices to get on in there, about $20 for adults, $10 for children.
That's how they get in the river.
With the mic off, give it about half an hour after the show starts. They just drop it down to about $5 or so.
because it's for charity. They don't want to charge the full top, but if the show started, you know,
Yeah.
$50 that way, you know, kind of way off a little bit right there for that. But for the record, $20 for adults, $10 for children. Just for on the same page, right? You go through the artist guys, you got a cool little statue over here on the right-hand side. So huge Texas Longhorns on their way on up to the Briscoe Western Art Museum. The museum itself is a nice spot for interactive exhibits for the kids. Usually on Tuesdays from about 4 o'clock to 9 p.m. We'll have it free to the general public right there, entrance there. But that used to be our main library in San Antonio. When the flood came through here in 1921, a lot of damage forced it to shut down for a few years. But it's another reused building. And most of the buildings in our downtown area have been repurposed over the years in order to keep the history alive. We keep the structure there and find new life for it. This leg of the Riverwalk that we're going through right here, though, y'all, this is where you get a good feel of what the park-like environment was like when we first opened it up to the community back in 1941. With the exception of just a couple of restaurants to the right, you got the Hotel Contessa and the West Hotel. They got their hotel restaurants at river level. Everything else is strictly street-level access. This is our business district that we're going through. But there is a cool little spot at river level that gets visited at least 2 to 3 times a week, and that's Marriage Island over here on the right side where this little diamond-shaped sculpture is. You know, Marriage Island earned its nickname when folks realized that the shape of the island itself, if you took an aerial view of it, it's in the shape of a heart. And then when we put the diamond-shaped sculpture there in 1991 to commemorate the 300th anniversary of the naming of the San Antonio River, there was a mass that was held then. So there's some religious symbols on the sculpture itself. It kind of came together. It looked like an altar on a nice little heart-shaped island.
Where?
What else would you like, right? You got the Riverwalk as a backdrop. Why not? It's a city park. It's free to get married out here. And slowly but surely, those weddings have gone from small and a couple of witnesses to sometimes the Hotel Contessa, you know, surprising us with like a full layout, a full chair set out. I mean, a nice big wedding from time to time. And all of us, you know, passing on by, we try our best to be courteous, you know, offer a nice little round of applause as we're passing on by. But old Jerry right here, 17 plus years on the river, I've kind of gone past like courteous little applause. And I'll slow the boat down a little bit, say things like, yeah, that's my ex-wife getting married right there today on Marriage Island. And those husbands, man, they get into it too. They're like, yeah, buddy, I got her now. I'm like, yeah, yeah. She's like, what are you doing? It's my wedding. I'm having a little fun with him, you know. But you'll see them pop up sporadically anywhere around the Riverwalk. Again, it's a city park, so always a nice treat for folks to be able to use the Riverwalk as a nice backdrop for that beautiful moment. Shade's going to be a little hard to get or come by out in this stretch. There's a little spot that I'm going to duck us underneath there. Those pine cypress trees just giving us just enough shade to be able to look at one of the buildings on the left side of our boat. You know, out here in the business district, you have an office building that's a true iconic piece of our downtown skyline. To the left side here is Tower Life at 404 feet tall there. Second tallest building in San Antonio gets a lot of attention for various reasons. You know, you have the height factor, you have the fact that we light it up at night, halfway up on that tower. You also have folks that are drawn to it because it looks almost like the Empire State Building in the way it was shaped and designed, but just nowhere near the height. It's only about a third of the height of the Empire State Building. Definitely folks that get inside there at one point or another to call it home for their business. You know, it's a general office building renting out office space, so you always want to try to get yourself on that waiting list to get on in Tower Life. It's part of the Riverwalk community for sure. I like pointing it out for a whole other reason. I'm going to get us over to the other side of the St. Mary Street Bridge, and what a lot of folks passing on by here don't realize is it's not just your average office building. It's one of 2 buildings around here that poses as something else when you look at it from a certain perspective. So it creates a little optical illusion. If you've ever taken our tours before, you might remember one that looks like a flat wall, standing real tall there, about 26 stories. That's over by Dick's Last Resort. This one is designed to look like a ship sailing in toward the San Antonio River. So I'm going to slow the boat down just like this here, and as we come out from underneath the bridge, take a look above the bridge behind us and back at that tower, and you'll see how it looks like a ship there with the mast and the flag up on top, and the corner of the building as the bow of the ship, or the front of it angled in towards the river. Gotta get that little, It's only about a 3 to 4 second window, and then that angle starts changing and it doesn't quite look like it anymore. But I will say, you know, if you get that perfect picture about 3-4 seconds into it, ideal. There's only about 3 images on Google right now of the Tower Life building at that perfect angle right there. So 1929, that started redefining our downtown skyline. For the most part, what existed prior to the 1900s as our downtown skyline was all of one building, and that's that one in front of us with that green roof and beehive dome. You know, as we come around that last Cyber Street, you'll be able to see the tower there that belongs to the Bexar County Courthouse. The Bexar County Courthouse, it happens to be the oldest courthouse in the state of Texas. And if I ever mention any more information beyond that, and my mom's taking the tour, she starts to wonder why I know more all of a sudden. So I try to scale back on the knowledge on that building, right? I always want to stay away from the courthouse for the most part. But 1896, man, it definitely stole a lot of parts of one of the more beautiful buildings in our downtown area.
I don't think it's funny.
For what it's worth, guys, while we don't have anybody necessarily on our backside here pushing us through our tour, I know it's a little brutal here, but I want to tell you for a second. This intersection that we come into, this is where a lot of people tend to get lost around this Riverwalk. If you took the sidewalk down the left side there, you're going to notice about 3 bridges down, there's some red and green traffic lights. And then you'll also see how the reflection of the water down there stops all of a sudden. The Riverwalk, if you didn't know this, sits about 16 feet above the southern part of the San Antonio River. So the river continues past that last bridge naturally, going about 242 miles through South Texas. Eventually it teams up with the Guadalupe River, and then all of that filters into the Gulf of Mexico. If you're doing sightseeing, you can go down there. The sidewalks continue for 9.5 miles in that direction. But if you're looking for Hard Rock Cafe, pull 180 when you see that waterfall back there. So many folks come back out here. It's like, I've been walking for 2 hours looking for the restaurants. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't get to you in time. The red tunnel was designed specifically as a way to see visually where you want to go. Stop right there and know that you're on the right side. Because if you're going to the red tunnel, you're already on the side of the river that'll be one continuous loop out here. You'll never be able to get, straight away from the main parts of this river walk right there.
Mommy, when we get off the boat, can we go down there and see that big waterfall?
For those of you that have heard of Paris, France, starting off locks on a fence line, Brooklyn Bridge doing the same thing, we got something going here ourselves. There's a little wedding chapel at the end of this building here where a lot of couples have come on out already to lock in their love eternally. A lot of the wives, turning the key right there, tossing it in the river. Apparently somebody married their bike and tossed it in the river. I'm not sure what's going on right there. I thought it was only Cape Austin weird, but apparently they get in the mix there. We got some cool things right there. A lot of single travelers as well, leaving little notes behind on some of those padlocks. So if you guys want to stop on by, that's over by Market Street and Main Plaza. Now, Main Plaza here, guys, the location that's coming up on the left side of our boat, this is what links the river and Riverwalk level to the San Fernando Cathedral.
That's the shirt that I got.
Wait, link to the little boy.
There we go. Yeah!
Sit down, bud.
Yeah. The San Fernando Cathedral to our left, guys, later on tonight is something you might want to be visiting. We have a free laser light show that's projected onto the face of the cathedral. 3 shows, 9, 9:30, and 10 p.m. Free to the public. There's a couple of food trucks that get set up there, help you enjoy the show a little bit more. A couple of tables and chairs set up as well in the main plaza area. But it's a great way to kind of cap off your night right off the river. If you're going to be down here the rest of the evening, if you're going to be out and about, know that the Saga Laser Light Show is also something that continues through tomorrow night as well. Same show times, 9 p.m., 9:30, and 10 o'clock.
That's a big tree.
Now the boat that's coming up behind us with the oval sign in front, you're going to see as we start turning here, it's a different service, but it's the same company, and it's the same style of boat that I'm driving right now. The only difference is what it does and the marks on it there, the sign up in front, and the checkered flags that are on the back side of it back here. The Rio Taxi is our other passenger service that we offer you guys. It allows you to go and visit the entire Riverwalk route. It's going to go past me up into that northern channel, and for $16, that's one of the pricing options. There's 10, 12, 16, and 25. But for $16, you get an all-day pass, and it usually makes sense for those that buy the pass before noon at least, because from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., you can get on and off that boat as many times as you want, get picked up and dropped off almost anywhere you want around the Riverwalk. So, if you're visiting for the first time, I always, suggest doing the tour, get a little bit of information, some background first, and maybe on your next visit, stay away from the locations, come to the taxi, and use that service right there. It usually tends to work out nicely for you guys. Now, once you come into this floodgate and in through this leg of the Riverwalk, we have the Bella Restaurant on the right-hand side that we hold in high regard because it is the home of the only reminder left behind from the flood of 1921. This fig tree that's currently growing out of their wall, that wasn't originally something that lodged itself into a crack there, but the original tree, you can still see the trunk of it there, kind of cut off and petrified, serving as a symbol there of our
Why is it growing by that
that
wall?
tragedy, the flood of 21, did flip us on our backside here and left us wondering what we were going to do with the city, how we were going to recover. A lot of unanswered questions for a couple of years. And it's always important to remember that because it's real easy to get lost in the fun atmosphere out here, especially during more festive times of the year. But we definitely stay grounded and keep ourselves true to the experience, man. This is a process that is still continuing. The healing process, or even maybe just remembering our roots is something that we take pride in. Right now we're working on a project here on the right, for instance, bringing back an old fish market. A lot of times it's easy to forget that this is a natural river and there are a lot of catfishing in here. So fishermen used to get that. There's a little area in downtown, specifically some seafood restaurants. I'm not going to say that happens today, so don't think land trees is getting supplied by the San Antonio River Fleet. That is not happening. But we are going to be seeing a fish market open up once again there with a seafood restaurant right there and about an 18-story hotel up at street level booth. In the late 1980s, early 90s, that's when we really started developing this leg of the Riverwalk, the South Bank area, opening up from the river level here, entrances into the Aztec Theater, which is a great venue for live entertainment. If you guys, enjoy being in a building that's got great decor, that's one of those. The Majestic Theater, also one of those. In the early 1900s, you're talking buildings that definitely spin across the U.S. there, marked by designs that are truly magical, man. Once you're sitting in there and this live entertainment almost takes a back seat to just the decoration itself. Going home in a minute. Nicely done.
For dinner, but we're going to that place tonight.
The weird thing is I saw him on that bridge yesterday with someone else. If there was ever a spot where we're going to have a little bit of fun like that, it would be in this little stretch we're coming into, man. Once you go through that little footbridge, the Salinas Bridge, you're officially in our party zone, guys. Places like the Soho Martini Lounge, and this is coming from a true beer drinker right here behind the wheel, man. My wife took me out to the Soho Martini Lounge, and I swear to God, she had to carry me back to the car. It was like dessert in a cup. I didn't know what was going on. Chocolate covered dip, strawberry martinis. Well, you can't go wrong with those. I always wonder what it would have been like if this hotel that we've been passing by here on the right stayed what it was originally built as. That was actually a college. All those dorm rooms and classrooms, what was then known as the St. Mary's School for Boys. That was nothing but dudes in this part of the Riverwalk right here. You imagine that's still a college in this part? Yeah, thankfully they had to relocate due to that flood in 1921 right there. It became a hotel when we hosted the World's Fair in 1968. That's La Mansión, the first luxury hotel of the Riverwalk. Now it sits across the street, but on the same side of the river of our other optical illusion. Now this is the one that most people do remember. This is a hospital that's going to end up looking like a 26-story flat wall. The way the San Antonio River meets with the corner of the building, it creates an effect that kind of throws you off a little bit, but in order to see it in its entirety, start looking up and to the left as we pop out from underneath the bridge, and you'll get that effect there of a flat wall. I dare you to find the rest of the building.
What the world? Hold on. Oh, that's fire. Hey, that must do look like a flat wall.
And while I appreciate the oohs and ahs on my lovely silver tour boat right here, you gotta just fall in love with our cocktail boats on windy days, man. Because you go about 2 margaritas deep on a windy day through here. I'm talking grown men streaking like 5-year-old girls, you know. There you go, man. You go follow me right there. You gotta, sir, calm down. It's all fine. There's more to that building. And Nick's Last Resort, they run away with that one. You know, if you've never been to a Nick's Last Resort, by design, they are there to treat you like the worst people they have ever met, and it's all hilarious, man. It's a fun experience if you know that going into it. You got to know that going into it, because so many people that close their eyes, they go in just looking for a burger, not knowing that that's what's going to come their way, walk out, halfway through the meal. That was the worst experience ever. They don't know how to treat anybody. They're like, man, it was like design. Oh, no wonder. There you go. Now, out here in the early 1990s, we had brought out Planet Hollywood, Hard Rock Cafe. Planet Hollywood has since moved on, but we did try our best to start going a more globally recognized type of brand direction, but scaled back when we learned that those that were visiting out here for conventions, attending meetings and seminars for business. They weren't looking for a bite to eat when they left about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. They wanted to enjoy a happy hour, stretch your legs a little bit, do some dancing. And that's why you got that good mix right here, both nightlife atmosphere and family fun. The South Bank, last to be developed in the 1990s.
I just think, oh.
And once you hit the Mad Dog British Pub there on the left-hand side, that kind of marks the end of the South Bank experience. We start going into River Square, where you got the majority of our souvenir shops and restaurants.
If you go the
This
other
is
way,
some
you're
people that's a
the
little off
shopping
the here,
area.
but completely useful,
That's
guys.
where we stay. This
So,
is where we stay.
keep it in your back pocket, man. You can use it. You do not have to be staying at this hotel here on the left-hand side. That's the Hyatt Regency. Anybody is welcome to come on through those double doors right there. You can use their elevator to get up to street level, so it's wheelchair and stroller accessible. That's the best shortcut around this entire Riverwalk for a lot of spots.
But it's
the Alamos
nice.
on the other side, the mall,
And the
Ripley's, believe it or not,
massage
the
is
Wax
good.
Museum, the Haunted Adventure. You can take carriage rides, Segway tours.
It's always be photography. And you get the right bartender right there. Maria's in heaven.
We'll be out here tomorrow. But for the record, the Hyatt Regency
Body,
absolutely
what's
no
wrong with your
storage
body?
advantage. You don't even know what's about it. It's just there. We get occasionally people asking, did they actually live in the main Riverwalk areas? And we do have some residential spots out here, like the Casino Club building here on our right. From the third floor on up, those are apartment units. And they are one of 3 complexes out here that are grandfathered in.
that's
With
where we
rents
go.
under $1,000
Our last
a
night
month.
is always there.
And that's incredible considering the newer
The
complexes
rainforest
going north,
cafe.
going
I mean,
upwards of
everything's like
$2,500
right
a month.
all across
So the Morris apartments are probably the best ones in terms of their rates, because they go about under $900 a month, and most of their units all bills paid. And that's remarkable, man. So it is possible to definitely still have some good cost of living experiences right off this river. You gotta look for them. This stretch, guys, this has been my break room since 1999. I have definitely earned my San Antonio life physique over the years, firsthand with these menus. So I can definitely help you out with some good spots to eat. You know, everything from breakfast to lunch. Starts off with the original Mexican restaurant that's in Rio Rio, and then you start going into the latter part of lunch hour and into dinner with Michelino's, Lone Star.
Rio's good.
Then you start looking maybe for a different dinner experience and boat experience. Combine the two. You got places like Boudreaux's that will do something like a community dining barge. They definitely learned how to combine those two in a very cost-effective way right there, averaging out roughly about $50 per person. And then you got these 2 bad boys right here, the Republic of Texas Cafe Olay. Now we can start off easy, ladies and gentlemen, and
Great
take you over to the
steak and a
Republic of Texas,
margarita.
where you can be introduced to the 44-ounce margarita.
Yeah.
But you know, if you feel you got the juice, maybe if you feel like you can just jump in both feet, Cafe Olay is where you want to go for 60 ounces of margarita bliss right there.
Yeah, you will not be walking out.
We're gonna go back and
The whole restaurant experience got started with these guys, Casa Rio, in 1946. They were the ones that wanted to test out that flood control system for the first time. With zero competition around, they were able to construct the longest patio on the river. And you can't go wrong while you're dining with a little bit of traditional mariachi music, and I'll let you guys enjoy them.
sit down. We're almost there.
You gotta go all the way around there.
Yeah, we'll change our rooms.
All right, so clearly you can see we've left a little bit of distance between us and the mariachi back there. So you can imagine what it's like when you're in a nice Italian restaurant like Michelino's, and all of a sudden, ay, mi amor starts playing right across the river right there. But it's the only venue you can come out to, the San Antonio Riverwalk, where you can have Mediterranean, Italian, seafood, and still listen to the traditional mariachi music right there. We tried some different things out, but there's some things that we could not remedy, and that is the experience right there. But I think that adds to the charm, definitely. One one of the things that we did try that did not work out, the first boat ride down here. Casa Rio, and that wasn't just our first restaurant on the Riverwalk, they were our first boat operators back there. And they tried going with what the headlines were suggesting. And in describing the Riverwalk, they considered us to be this new Texas Venice. And so these gondolas would be the perfect boat ride out here. Newsflash, guys, we don't have Mario, or do we? You know, we got Juanito, Jose. It's different, man. The song isn't getting quite sound the way we were supposed to, but we tried. We gave it a shot, a couple of years worth anyway. They finally yanked those gondolas off the river and brought out paddle boats, and that was an instant home run right there. Folks being able to, you know, kind of determine where their destination was and keep their own pace going. Stayed on the river for over 20 years, and then slowly started filtering in the motorized boats, which at the time, in the early 1960s, nobody really noticed the issue with them because there was so few of them. But by the time they grew the fleet, watch yourselves up in front there, and a little bit of a splash zone. Once they grew their fleet up to about 25 boats in the early 1990s, we found ourselves having to deal with all that exhaust from the little gas-powered boats, those little too overwhelming, and that's when we went to the fleet of boats that we have right now, running on compressed natural gas. So, while there's nothing wrong with these guys right now, we can start that with our tricentennial next year. It'd be a good opportunity to bring those new boats that we were talking about earlier. Now, you guys right now are my first boat all day long, where I have not had any graduates from Lackland Air Force Base. But if you are wondering why so many airmen and women are walking around, that is what we have. Every weekend, they'll come on out with their families before being sent off to their first stint, and definitely if you get an opportunity to congratulate any of one of them, definitely do so. This is Military City, USA, one of our many nicknames out here. We take a lot of pride in our military here in San Antonio. Right now, coming back up towards River Center, guys, we're going to make a little dip in towards the original extension here, the Convention Center extension. This allows us an opportunity to see the centerpiece of the World's Fair, 1968, the Tower of the Americas. If you have not been up there, this would be the best way to get to it at river level. Of course, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, it's our version of the Space Needle. You know, we surpassed Seattle's Space Needle on a technicality. I'm mad enough to admit that here. You know, a lot of San Antonians say, no, don't say that, it's official. Well, yeah, it's official, but they measured our antenna. That's how we were able to get past the Seattle Space Needle. Their observation deck clearly sits taller than ours, and I've got to give them that just due. So we came in second now to the Stratosphere. That's the nation's tallest freestanding needle out in Las Vegas. You know, they're almost twice the height of ours with those thrilling rides up on top right there. I did the roller coaster one time. That was all I needed to do, man. When I felt that thing kind of wobble a little bit, I said I will not be back to the Stratosphere, at least not for the roller coaster part. But yeah, it's an awesome spot there. I give them their credit, man. They earned that top spot. Now, while they kind of stole a little bit of our thunder, I will say we found a way to get some attention back towards our tower this past December for National Trick Shot Day. You know, one of the Harlem Globetrotters came on out to our tower, Buckets Blakes, and Buckets wanted to go for the longest basketball shot record. So he sets up a basketball goal at ground level there by the tower, and then goes and harnesses himself to the rooftop. Takes a few shots and ends up sinking a 583.4-foot basket. If you get a chance to check that out on YouTube, man, you gotta look at it. I'm talking as a Spurs fan going through 5 titles, seen some great shots over the years, like bucket shots, still just that notch above those experiences right there, because a lot of us got to see that firsthand. Man, that morning we thought we were gonna be late for AM shift. He sinks it before AM shift even started right there. Incredible shot. YouTube, the keyword, you go and do that. Tower of the Americas, Harlem Globetrotter, please post that video. But if you are going to be visiting the tower or the Institute of Texan Cultures, La Vida, this little section right here gets you there quicker. And then, of course, it's mostly covered from this walkway here in front of us and beyond, so that gets you out of the sun for a little bit as well. The Convention Center, guys, has seen some serious upgrading over the last 14 years. This little facility, and I say little because it started out quite small in 1968, has been over quadrupled its size now. The city pouring about $350 million into the renovation and expansion of the Convention Center, and rightfully so. You know, it's generated a lot of revenue for us over the years. There's time to do some upgrading. I do appreciate that they kept the consistency, the look of the Riverwalk here into the lagoon area. They went into that grotto, that breezeway in front of us, and discovered, because of the sheer beauty and design of it, that was also a viable venue for outdoor banquets. So while that was not done by design, we've been able to pass on through here on our boat tours during the holiday season, kind of dipping in on some Fortune 500 companies' holiday parties, you know, for at least a few minutes. something that I normally wouldn't be a part of, but I definitely enjoy seeing what kind of live entertainment they got going on. They usually bring out some cool acts. And we go from those holiday parties to something as small as wedding receptions out here. So even the locals are making use of that outdoor venue right there. So nice little covered patio or breezeway, walkway, however you want to describe it. Now one of the more visited spots in the convention center area, especially by our locals. The developers, bless their hearts, man. I can look at this one of two ways, right? You can go glass half empty or glass half full. I choose the half full route. They gave us a wonderful obstacle course as we exit this part of the lagoon right here. Bless their hearts. I gotta love them for that. If you guys were wondering if we were gonna take this boat experience and really liven it up with a little bit of bumping here and there, this is that spot, guys. That's right, with the sheer force of this 9.9 horsepower motor back here. Yeah, there ain't much bumping going on right here. It's gonna be a little bit of I guess maybe a rub if you want to call it that. I try to take it easy, especially with the little one standing up right there. There you go, sweetie. I don't want to knock you off the chair there. And that's about as wild as it gets on my regular tours. But make no mistake, guys. I'm one of 3 drivers out here that gets requested early and mid-May for all of the elementary schools out here, their end-of-the-year field trip boat rides. Our managers have no clue how they keep requesting the same 3, but we're the ones designated for us. We just keep saying that we're just great with kids, when the truth is we shave about 10 minutes off of our tour on the other end. Come through here about 4 times, wide open throttle, banging off these rails right here. Kids love it. When we first found the reaction to be priced, it was like, oh my God, I'm awesome, dude, you Captain Jerry. We're like, no way. Because they went from like comatose riders to like involved. And I'm like, oh, that's gold right there, man. Oh yeah, that's
awesome.
He's taking you to the back. Okay?
But for the record, we love kids. That's what it is.
He says he loves kids and he's going to take you to the back.
And most of us can keep their attention just long enough to ask, hey kids, how many of y'all like doing puzzles? And they're still all excited from hitting the bumper ride, so everybody raises their hands, right? And I say, well, check out this building over here on the right-hand side. And, any of you guys that have ever done puzzles in your lives can at least appreciate what went into this project here on the right side of our boat, the Lila Cockerel Theater. 130 feet wide, 22 feet tall. You guys are looking at just over 440,000 1 square inch tiles. The artist that did this used about 11 different colored tiles here and spent almost 2 years piecing that together for us. The confluence of civilizations. I mean, that's a dedicated work, a lot of patience for sure, and some awesome creativity right there. Part of the whole centerpiece, the convention center, the Lila Cockerel Theater, the tower, that's the big center part of our World's Fair in 68. It's going to be re-showcased when we have the grand reopening of the convention center next spring. We're still working on the park area there on the left. That fence line should be coming down in a few months. We're still working on the irrigation system and the sod being laid out right there. Trying to see if any guys in the bench here. Not really getting a whole lot yet. I need to open up that second door. Yeah, zero historic significance whatsoever with Rich Steakhouse, but when they open up their second glass door right there, big old, not only does it smell good, but we get a big burst of AC in it. I'm talking, I will mention every time on my tour, buddy, this definitely.
Chris.
Guys, my Riverwalk is definitely growing. To be out here as long as I have and to see not really a whole lot of turnover for a lot of us. There's about 7 of us that have been out here for over 15 years. It's something that brings us back because they always tell us we're not done. We're not done. And you keep seeing little steady growth here and there, but this year is the one where we're seeing the most growth in a short amount of time. The San Pedro Creek project, set to open up next spring, will finally connect our Riverwalk to the Breckenridge Park and Zoo area. We're excited about that. And the ultimate goal is to make the entire 15-mile stretch accessible for our boats. So we still have to do some flood control development in the southern part of the city in order to do that, but that will come in due time. So I'm nowhere near the end of my career on this Riverwalk, guys. One thing I cannot remedy is what you can see from river level. There are a lot of spots just up in this street area here in the immediate downtown area that we'd love for you to visit. Of course, that's going to require you guys to get up to street level to do that. So as an enticement there, we've included some discounts on the back sides of your ticket stubs. Definitely hang on to those. Hopefully they'll be useful to those that are staying out here for at least a couple more days. As we get back to this downtown, start looking around, make sure you have all of your personal belongings with you. That is just something that obviously you'll want to do if you want to bring everything back home with you. The number one thing left behind on our boats are your cell phones, followed by your children. Please take them phones, okay? Cell phone first and the children. She knew where I was going with that setup. Oh yeah. Absolutely, man. Coming back to this dock, guys, I will say this, you got to give me a second to tie down the boat. I know sometimes those sea legs start itching a little bit there. You need to stand on up. Feel free to stand up and just don't exit until I got the boat tied down and secure for y'all. All of us drivers out here, we do try our best in our own little unique, quirky ways to send y'all home some great memories, and hopefully y'all enjoyed mine. For a console's done, they do allow us to accept